Hey guys, welcome to Living Satisfied. Today I'm going to be giving you the top 3 books that I would read during pregnancy and that I have read during pregnancy. I am currently 20 weeks pregnant, hence why my hair is half wet and I have no makeup on because it's like 8:30 at night and I just showered and I have a 15-month-old and I'm pregnant, so I think I'm allowed to be like this on camera, right? Right, that's good. So, all the books that I will talk about, I will link down in the description below, and you can always find them at livingsatisfiedfavorites.com as well. They are affiliate links. They cost you absolutely nothing. They just help if you click on them and purchase through those items. So let's get started with my top 3 books. So the first book that I would read during pregnancy is the Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. Whether you are planning on having an unmedicated birth, a home birth, a birth with an epidural, or even if you end up with a C-section, I think that this book can really help all pregnant women in general. This book is written by a group of midwives that are located in Tennessee, the south part of Tennessee, called The Farm, and they basically have a ridiculous success rate for having natural childbirths. And the first half of the book simply goes through story after story after story of women giving birth and their stories, because all of the births are so different and your birth is going to be your own as well. And I just found it so encouraging, especially as somebody who kind of had some trauma going on in their first child's birth, to read story after story and to know that like I'm not abnormal and that it's okay and that you are in fact made to birth children and it is not a medical procedure or anything like that. But they go through different people's stories, whether they have complications or no complications, and I just found it really encouraging. The second part of the book goes into techniques and different suggestions for giving birth unmedicated, and I find that even if you are planning on epidural, that is totally fine, and I think that these practices can really help anyone giving childbirth in general. They are really simple and they seem like, oh, that would kind of make sense, but when you're in the midst of it, you just don't think about these things. And so I think that the tips and suggestions that they give are absolutely awesome, and I would definitely check out this book. The next book that I would recommend is The Nursing Mother's Companion, and if you are like me, I did not find breastfeeding to be natural, and I kind of thought it would be. I thought that, you know, he would come out, he'd put on my chest, we'd start breastfeeding, it'd be great. That was probably the opposite for us. It took about 3 months for him to successfully breastfeed, and we saw lactation about 12 times within those 3 months. And I really struggled with it because I really thought it would come naturally. And as I have found, for a lot of women, they feel the same way, that it just didn't come naturally. And I think a lot of women stop breastfeeding earlier on because they don't feel supported and because they kind of feel like, oh, well, maybe it's just not for me. And I'm so glad that we stuck with it. I ended up breastfeeding until he was 14 months old, and I am thrilled with that decision. The book goes into really anything from the very, very beginning to nursing an older child, and it has different survival guides throughout, which I think is kind of fun. So we'll have like a newborn breastfeeding survival guide, and then we'll have like a little bit later on survival guide, and I just found that it was really helpful and really encouraging, and if things don't go as planned, it gives you suggestions and tips for that time. Along the same lines of this book, I would highly recommend joining like a lactation Facebook group. I know that there's 2 that I'm personally a part of, and they have been so helpful during breastfeeding because, like I said, things come up, your baby changes and grows, and nursing will just be different throughout the whole entire time that you choose to breastfeed. And having a group of women that I don't even know to like have suggestions for me and encourage me on my journey has been really, really helpful. The last book that I would highly recommend is the book called The Vaccine Book. Super simple book. Vaccines are such a hot topic and a very controversial one, and this book gives very point blank information about vaccinations, and it is not pro or against, it just gives the facts. And the author, Dr. Sears, is really great at just giving you the facts. He does give his opinion at the very, very end, but the whole point of the book is here is what's in the vaccines, why they're important, why they might not be important, and lets you make your decision. And I found that for me, as a holistic nutritionist, but also someone that has a good amount of studies in Western medicine through my bachelor's degree in science, I really got torn with vaccinations, and I'm honestly still kind of torn with them. And I just think that getting straight facts is really helpful. And when you search on the internet, a lot of times you find all sorts of things. You can really just find the answer that you want to find, which I think is part of the problem. And so this book, I will say, is a harder, more dense read because it really is just listing vaccinations and ingredients and things like that. And it's a little bit more dense, but I think it's totally worth it if you have any questions about them, whether you plan to fully vaccinate or you plan to not vaccinate at all, and everywhere in between, this book is for you. A little bonus book that I wanted to share with you as well, but I felt like the top 4 books to read for pregnancy didn't sound as good as top 3. But the bonus book that I have for you is a book called The Power of a Praying Parent. And I love this book, and especially as a Christian and someone who sometimes struggles with figuring out what exactly to pray for my child. And I feel like I can pray for like my husband and me and things like that, but for my child, I just kind of get lost for words. And this book gives really great like little short stories, and then it will give like a short little prayer. And I found that this was really great, especially when I was pregnant and then when I was nursing him. Like when I was laying him down for bed, I would just pop it open on my phone, my Kindle, and just like read the prayer out loud to him. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And I feel like sometimes as a parent, you just kind of need some extra help when you're praying for your child. And it gives a wide variety of prayers that you can do, and you can skip around whatever you'd like. But I highly recommend it. It also has in the series like Power of a Praying Parent, Power of a Praying Wife, Power of a Praying Husband, and a couple other different ones. So if you are interested in those other ones, I'll link them down below as well. I found that they were really helpful. Me and one of my friends did it together, that we would pray every week for husbands and kind of go through the book. And it's just really helpful to pray for others and not always necessarily thinking about yourself, which I think is hard when you are pregnant and then growing, I don't know, taking care of a child. Sometimes it all gets a little overwhelming, but these are the top books that I have for you. I hope that you guys enjoy them and check them out. If you are new to this channel, press the subscribe button right down below and check out some of my other videos. I've had them in the iCards above. You can also look through different playlists that I have. I documented my whole pregnancy with baby Jones. I haven't done that with this pregnancy, but from like week 4 all the way up to birth, they are there if you want to check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Are you judging me?
No, I wasn't listening.